Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I want to ask the question, is depicting different than promoting? All right. And I want to talk about what we intend to tell as dungeon masters in our Dungeons and Dragons campaigns and what we actually tell, right? What is the moral of the story what is our intended moral? And what is our actual delivered moral, right? So, and the reason we're going to talk about this today is Dune, Part 1 and Part 2, Denis Villeneuve's Dune, based on Frank Herbert's books. All right. So, I just watched an absolutely fantastic YouTube by another creator, and I'll put the link for you below, and you can check it out. And this gentleman said, hey, everybody, depicting is not promoting, right? We could depict something without promoting it, right? And then he explained that Dune, Part 1 and Part 2, right, is a cautionary tale about the dangers of messianic figures. Wrong, wrong, wrong. A wrong sandwich with extra wrong sauce cut with a wrong knife. Wrong. Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2 are absolutely 100%, and Dune the book are not cautionary tales against a messianic figure. Frank Herbert and Denis Villeneuve did the same thing. They said to the whole world, messianic figures are super dope, super awesome, and 100% the hero. That's the moral Frank Herbert delivered, and that is the moral trust and believe that Denis Villeneuve and Timothée Chalamet delivered. Come on, Paul Atreides standing up on the Shai Hulud, riding the sandworm with Stilgar screaming his head off, Lisan al-Gaib. Messianic figures are super dope, super awesome, and 100% the hero in Dune, right? So it absolutely does not at all matter in any way what the intended moral was from Frank Herbert and Denis Villeneuve. Both Frank Herbert and Denis Villeneuve told every American messianic figures are incredible, especially when they're real. And guess what? As an evangelical Christian, yeah, they're super dope. Jesus was awesome. He walked on water. He saved me, and he could save you. All you have to do is say you're a sinner, ask him for the salvation he achieved on the cross with his perfect life and his perfect blood, and you could be saved forever and not have to go to the hot place, right? Messianic figures, especially when they're the real deal, are super awesome. And guess what? Paul Atreides was the real deal. He was actually the Messiah of Dune, right? Like, the Bene Gesserit did not want him to take over, right? He broke their prophecy and fulfilled it, right? Like, he broke their plans, but fulfilled the prophecy which the Bene Gesserit had been carrying, right? And their flawed tactics delivered the Messiah, right? Like, and him manifesting with his mother, that's what it was, right? So here's the point, right? So you, as a dungeon master, you 100% have a moral. What is the moral you are attempting to tell, right? Now here's the kicker, right? What is the moral I want to tell in my story, right? In my campaign. One, I want to tell them, be good, not evil, right? That is a moral I want to portray in my D&D campaign. I also want to bring them the moral of you are more than you think you are. You have potential in you that is not fully understood and certainly hasn't been fully reached, right? Also, relying on your allies is important. Working with them is important. And forming strong relationships and bonds with them is important, right? These are the morals I want to get across. Now, here's the kicker. Do I actually... So, here's what we need to be hyper aware of as dungeon masters. The narrative can pull us in directions we do not expect. We want to tell a compelling story. We want to tell an exciting story. And that's where Frank Herbert got lost. That's where Denis Villeneuve, and actually, Denis Villeneuve did not get lost. He ended up fully certifying that messianic figures are super dope, super awesome, and 100% the hero, especially when they're real, right? Like, that is the message. Dune is essentially a Christ story, right? Like, it is a reflection of Christ, and that's why Americans are responding to it, right? What do you, like, politics and ecology highlight the Messiah. Politics and ecology highlighted Christ, right? Like, he was born in Israel, right? And that special place allowed him to show the world who he truly was. Arrakis and Paul Atreides, it's simply a Christ story, right? It's a reflection of Christ, and that's why Americans are drawn to it, right? So the point is, as a dungeon master, do you know the moral you are trying to get? And are you able to deliver that moral even when the narrative is trying to take you in a different direction? Be aware of it, okay? All right. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.